Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yucca Valley Film Festival 2021 third edition. For this new live stream, we're going to have a legend with us today. We're going to have an actor who's local to the Mojave Desert, living in Rancho Mirage, if I'm correct. He's has so many credits to his filmography, TV, movies, books, radio show. He's got a new book coming up, and that was the perfect occasion to invite him to be our headlining masterclass for the Yucca Valley Film Festival today. It's my great pleasure to welcome Michael Dante. Michael, how are you doing?
Fine, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing very, very good. It's really an honor to be with you again. And we have your wife, Mary Jane, helping us for the live stream. Thank you so much, Mary Jane, for everything you
You're
do with us.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Enjoy.
And Oregon is backstage as usual, directing the show, helping us to make it happen. Michael, it's my honor to discuss with you again. We had the chance to talk together already last year for Yucca Valley TV, but we had very limited time on the show. Today, we have a little bit more time. So I want to hear all the stories. I want to hear all the memories you have about your amazing career, which was not always cinema, because you started as an athlete, a sportsman. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I started out in life. I was a bonus ball player, baseball player I signed the bonus contract with the Boston Braves in 1950, just out of high school. So I was pursuing my boyhood dream, and little I know that shortly thereafter, an injury took place to my shoulder, and I attended the University of Miami of Florida as a drama major, just in case I had surgery on my shoulder,
Yeah.
just in case that didn't respond to throwing at a big league level. So in the interim, I met Tommy Dorsey, the band leader, great time. Tommy Dorsey, the wonderful band leader who did the Nestle show and Jackie Gleason show.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw me do a rehearsal play. He was a very good friend of my roommate, Mickey McDermott, who played with the Yankees and Red Sox and Washington Senators. And uh, he had a night off. He was doing one-nighters up and down the east and west coast of Florida. And
Yeah.
he called Mickey and invited us Mickey to dinner, and he invited me and Tommy eventually saw me rehearse a play, and he said, "Look, if your arm doesn't respond," he said, "I want to arrange a screen test for you out at MGM." He said, "You have it." He said, "You have
So
a great voice
the
on
injury
stage."
the injury kind of led you to new opportunities at the time, and to that screening test at MGM. That
Right,
was for you the very start for what was about to become an immensely successful career. What happened
right.
next?
Well, I joined Tommy, and he arranged a screen test for me at MGM Studios. MGM Studios signed me a contract, and I never went back to baseball. Uh, 30 films and 150 television shows later. So wow, it was very interesting, and just I was just in another world at that time because making that transition was interesting, and I had a lot of work to do to learn how to work in front of the camera. You know, it's a little different technique when you're working on stage or
It
so.
is. It
So
is definitely.
yeah,
And you also, people in the area in Yucca Valley and the Morongo Basin know you because also you are an honorary member of the Gunfighters for Hire in Pioneertown, and you often go there and give your time on this main street of Pioneertown because you want to stay connected to the old West and that memories of what we did in the past in Pioneertown.
Yes, man. I want to keep the West alive. You know, there are many that worked during the period I worked in, 60 years of work. Not too many of them are alive. So
Yeah,
my objective is to uh, entice the young people and have the young people not forget American history and the Western pioneers that pioneered this country and made it possible for us to do
the
what we're doing.
actual
Yeah, we're
the
doing
actual
right now.
history the actual history of America, and also the history of filmmaking that told this story many ways and many years around. You also have a street named after you. Not everybody can say that. What's the story behind that, and how did that happen, and who did that? Can you tell me about it?
Well, man, that took place my hometown of Stamford, Connecticut. They were uh, appreciated my success in Hollywood, and the mayor and a committee that was formed to uh,
To kind of
actually,
make the
yeah,
decision to
yeah,
make this happen.
to make it happen. Sure, and in the it was quite a thrill because the name of the street was Prospect Street. And I used to walk there to high school for 4 years back and forth. So it wasn't just a small street. It's a good quarter of a mile long, the street, and very, very populated and busy. So it was a very special day. Michael Dante Way
Yeah,
is
as you
there
can see on the
now.
screen,
Yeah.
Michael Dante Way. How does it feel? Does it feel like, because it's a recognition of what you did, what you achieved, and it's also something that's gonna last, that's gonna stay with your name on it. So I guess it's something. Do you care about that? Is it important for
Yeah,
you?
it's something you just can't describe, Matt. It's a thrill of a lifetime, and I just am humbled by the uh, just to see my name in on a street named after me. To me, is that was really the highlight of my career.
Yeah, it's a recognition. It's something. It's like having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's
Yeah,
something that, like I said, not everybody has that. It's very special. It is. You have a new book coming out because
yeah.
you've been doing a lot of things. You've been acting, and you've also been a radio host for many years. And the book, in the foreword of the book, the title is "My Classic Radio Interviews with the Stars." You tell that you were just a guest on a radio show in Palm Springs, and then you were so good that the owner at the time invited you to get your own show, basically.
Yeah, it led to my own show. Uh, once I got familiar with all the machinations, I always knew I was a good interview to do a show, but to host a show, uh, I would have to learn all the mechanics of coming in and out of commercials and so forth and so
Yeah.
on. So once I got over that initial stage, I felt that I could have my own show and direct myself in the direction that I wanted to go, which is having
So
my own show and getting my own stars on the show.
how
So,
was it to be yourself an active actor and to get kind of on the other side of the line and to kind of interview your peers? How does it feel?
well, that was advantageous, Matt, because being an actor, or being a professional athlete, you know the right questions to ask.
Yeah,
You know,
because you know what you're talking about.
yeah. So, and they were most appreciative because they respected my background. So I didn't have any problems getting them to do the show. They all were looking forward to it and working with me with the show because they liked me personally and they liked my acting ability. So we had a lot going for us, both sides, both on one side of the mic, on the other side of the mic, because
Yeah.
um, when you have been there, you know the right questions to ask.
Yeah,
And
you
that's,
know what's going to be interesting. You know the challenges. You know where what to ask to get some interesting feedback. So that's kind of the game.
yeah,
Do you have the book with you? Do you want to show us the book?
yes,
Yes, you do.
here it is.
With a soft cover. The book is on Amazon and everywhere. So if you want to get the Michael's book, you can do it right now. And I understand that it's only volume one. So you are already, I guess, planning on doing another one.
I'm sorry, Matt. What?
It's only the volume one.
Volume
So
one. Yeah, right, exactly.
so you're planning
Uh,
on doing another one.
yeah, maybe two or
Maybe two?
three. I know that we'll do two because I've done over 200 shows. So we will. Um, this will be our first initial volume one, and two. We want to find out more about the internet. What I want to do would be more or less a prelude to going on the internet. You see, because
Okay, I understand. Yeah, to put that in time, because this one has 60 names to it.
right, right.
So I cannot mention everybody, but I'm gonna just pick a few randomly. Pat Boone, Dick Butkus, Glenn Campbell. We're gonna talk about that later. Beryl Davis, James Ferrantino, Robert Foster. 60 different chapters, and in each chapter you reminisce about that person and how you met them and what happened and what was fun, interesting about these people. And I would like to discuss a little bit about Tony Curtis. There's a chapter about Tony Curtis in the book. For the young generations like me, Tony Curtis is the father of Jamie Lee Curtis, of True Lies and Halloween, of course. And there's one thing in the book he says filmmaking is okay, but it's not my life. And by that he means that it's not only about filmmaking, it's about family, it's about everything else. um, I wonder if it's the same for you, because you've been in so many movies, so many TV shows, and you've been a power couple with your wife also for so long. What is the part of the filmmaking in your life?
Well, Matt, I made a choice uh, a number of years ago to lead a great, creative, and inventive life, so that uh, during that period of time when I was doing the radio show, I didn't know I was going to write 4 books. I
No.
wrote 4 books since then
Yeah.
because of uh, my objective, which is to treat my work as an art form and be creative and inventive whenever I can and whenever I had the opportunity to. So when the opportunity presented itself that and everyone wanted me to write my autobiography, all
Of
my
course. I mean,
friends, yes. So
you've
I
been
yeah,
you have so many things to tell, you have so many things to share, so
yeah.
it's obvious that at some point you want to make a book out of it, because again, books are going to stay, and it's a memory, it's a piece. What I want, I forgot to say that in the beginning, but basically that book is kind of a time capsule of the golden age of Hollywood. Everything we learning that book, everything that we discover is just fascinating. It brings us back to a period in time where it was, I don't know, more glamorous in a way, maybe more simple in another way. How do you feel based on that?
I no question about it, it was much more glamorous, and there was an energy. Hollywood was full of young people coming into the industry, and one form or another, writers, directors, actors, actresses, and so forth and so on. Um, and the town just buzzed
Yeah,
with energy. Every day there was something new and happening with one of our colleagues getting an opportunity to star in a film or a television series, and then they have, of course, that was motion pictures, and in the beginning, and it was very difficult if you could break through the motion picture stardom. And then the advent of television, that gave more opportunities for actors
yeah,
to get and have a showcase of their talents. And I see you had Tony up there. Tony gave a very interesting observation, Matt. I asked him, I said, Tony, because he was a very good pal of mine, and we had a great sense of humor. And I said, Tony, um, tell me, what do you find different about motion picture when we started in the business to present day? What what do you feel has been the transition and what
yeah.
to expect and so forth?
What
What
did he say?
he said it was very simple. He said it's one of technological uh,
Yeah,
approach to filmmaking. It's going to be special effects, all technical things that'll be a lot different, and the small stories will win the awards and so forth. But the big blockbuster mentalities will be all about mechanics and special effects. So
yeah.
Tony
It's
was
always been
very intelligent,
the
very intelligent.
technical side of filmmaking has always kind of pushed the medium to evolve along the years. Often it often was the new cameras, the new technologies that kind of had the most impact into filmmaking. What do you think, on a personal note, what do you think about the big motion pictures today with a lot of special effects, with a lot of digital fake things on screen? I'm not saying it's all bad, and I don't want you to say it's all bad. I just want to have your personal feeling, because you made movies in a time when everything was real, everything was on camera. How do you feel about the new generations of films today?
Yeah, well, I think the new generation has to go along with the demands that uh, uh, I would say the foreign market and also
Yes.
the American market demand. Now, the foreign market demands all of the action films. They can't get enough of the action films on the foreign market because they can't make them like we could. So
Yeah.
they're in demand. And all those blockbuster potential movies are always the priority, and actors are just kind of fill in between the stories,
Yeah.
and
It's
well, hopefully, along the way, they have some semblance of relationships between people to hold the attention of the audiences as well as the action.
Let's talk music a little bit. Back to the book. You have one chapter, chapter 10, is about Glenn Campbell, the country music star. Uh, what would you, what do you remember of that encounter you had with him?
Oh, he was so entertaining. It was well, we had played golf together a couple of times, and then we were at the Frank Sinatra tournament here in Palm Springs, and I asked him if he would do the radio show, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And this is what was wonderful. He said, "Do you mind if I bring my guitar?" I said,
Of
"What?"
course.
Oh boy! So he said, "I'll play string along with it. Don't pay attention to me, but I'll be stringing along and playing." Well, I want to tell you, Matt, it was one of the greatest thrills and one of the greatest interviews.
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess
ever.
when you
Yeah.
have the chance to first have Glenn Campbell as a guest, you're happy already. But if he brings his guitar, I mean, you cannot say no. That's not authorized. You can't. You can't.
Absolutely.
And there's something in that interview that struck me because he told you about the song "Gentle in My Mind" and
Yes.
about the reaction of Royal Gilmore, who was capital A&R at the time, and basically that song was an instant hit, instant success when it get out,
Yeah.
and it had such a big impact that a few years ago, another country band, the band Perry, just did that song again and re-recorded that song, and they filmed the music video in the Mojave Desert. It was
Wow.
in a Death Valley, to be exact.
Hmm.
So what we have in that book that you wrote with Mary Jane is, again, it's a time capsule that's gonna share details, unknown details, anecdotes, exclusive things that we don't know about the big history of these big stars, of these big country music stars, actors, actresses, artists. A lot of people in your book you describe as artists. It's not only, oh, she's a singer, he's an actor. You say actor slash artist. Is it important to you not to reduce the guests and the people creating art to just one role?
Yes, I think it's very important to let the average fan know something that was esoteric they didn't know about that particular person. So what I try to do during our conversation, it's kind of like a fireside conversation with that particular star, uh, was to uh, find out the simple things, like uh, having to walk in the right room at the right time. The
Yeah,
timing, the
timing.
timing was not important. It's everything, and the timing of that particular artist. If they didn't walk into that office at that time, I would have been talking with them.
Yeah,
That led to stardom for that one individual, and there's so many stories like that. As a matter of fact, that everyone out there can go to my website at www
DanteWay.com.
michaeldanteway.com, and you could read about those and on my website and get all the information. And they're in my autobiography and of course the new book, my classic radio interview with those stars. And there's so
I'll
many
show.
wonderful, subtle things.
Yeah,
That,
that's what's great about the book. It goes into the details and things that we've never heard of before, and that's really nice and very easy to read. Talking about timing and people that had the chance to be at the right place at the right time. Uh, in the book, you have a chapter about George Takei, and he told you how important it and how decisive it was for him to be hired on Star Trek as Mr. Sulu, and how it changed the actual course of his career after that. Um, I guess is he as nice as he seems?
he, there was no question he was a great uh, character contribution to the series. He was excellent in it, and uh, we worked together in a Star Trek entitled oh
The title of the episode?
Right.
Yeah,
yeah
it's in the book. I don't remember it myself,
yeah
but it's in the book. And you had the chance to work with him.
Friday's Trial. It's Friday's Trial. I'm sorry, Friday's Trial. He wasn't. We didn't work together, but he was in a segment that back on the ship.
Yep.
And Julie Newmar, of course, and I just started that, and it was very interesting. I did another film in the Philippines, and he played a uh, mean
Military
Japanese
guy.
soldier, and he was excellent in it. Uh, uh, Returned from the River Kwai, not the bridge, from the
The
River
river.
Kwai, which was a novel, a true story. Ours was based on a true story, and he was excellent as the mean Japanese commanding officer.
Yeah. And but on Star Trek, you got to work. Most of your scenes were with Captain Kirk, the
Yeah,
original one, William Shatner.
yeah, yeah,
What
that
about
was,
William? He was in space not like long ago. How was it to kind of? Did you watch that?
yeah. He's that was interesting. He's a very interesting, enterprising guy and a very good actor. He's launched a career way beyond television
Yeah.
and merchandising and Star Trek. And we're talking about in the billions of dollars. That the actors that did the show, uh, compared to the money they made after, was like
Yeah,
uh,
completely
yeah,
different, life
no
changing.
comparison. They
That
made a
show,
fortune. Yeah.
that show was just the first block of an immense pyramid of shows, and they have a new one even now. I think this week or last week on Paramount Network or something like that. They still are making new shows about Star Trek all the time, and they are gonna keep making movies. That's for sure. And you are part of that history. There's also another legend you've been working with, and that's Elvis Presley.
Uh,
You
yeah.
were on that film Kid Galahad. That was actually filmed in I want to pronounce that well. Idlewild, which is not far from here, from Yucca Valley. That film was shot there. And what do you do in the movie? What's your role in Kid Galahad?
I played the champion, Joey Shakes, when he musters out of the service and comes to looking for work, and he happens to ascend upon a boxing, my boxing champ, and I am the champion there. And he was looking for work, and they wanted a sparring partner, and they would pay him $5 if he spars with me.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's you on screen with you are on the right and Elvis Presley is on the left. We're
yeah.
going to be watching a clip from the film in a few seconds. What were you kind of impressed by Elvis Presley, or how was it on set to be
Well,
with him?
he was a total gentleman. He was always on time, always knew his dialogue, no temperament, a very nice, wonderful human being. Everything was yes, sir, no, ma'am. So, and the his friends that surrounded him, Matt, they was just as nice.
Just as nice
They
as him.
were all gentlemen, all very polite, and it couldn't be nicer.
Yeah.
Couldn't be nicer.
Let's watch a clip from that. It's been recut from the original movie, but that's going. We're gonna see you right here. So that's Charles Bronson with Elvis Presley,
Joey,
and that's you on the ring.
That's it. Yeah.
flip this on. Now listen, Joey. I want you to take it nice and easy in there. It's not like we're trying to win the Olympics from the Russians every time.
You make me laugh. You're always worried. What are you worried about?
Fight.
How you want me to work them? In?
Easy, easy. Keep sticking them easy, that's all.
So did you get to kick or to punch Elvis Presley in the movie?
Punching.
Yeah, it was. We did our own boxing. We had no stunt people to do our work. And as a matter of fact, he forgot his routine one time, and he threw an extra punch and cut my
you-
mouth. Yeah, and he apologized 100 times. He was such a gentleman and a very good actor. Very good actor. He could have, I believe he could have gone on to do, other than the musicals, done a lot of uh, serious dramatic work.
Yeah. When you do this kind of movies, we see here are you sparring with Elvis Presley, and we have also Charles Bronson in the movie. Do you have the chance to stay in touch with the guys? Do you stay friends, or is it just the time of the film and then you go separate ways?
Well, they had a touch football game. Elvis loved football, and all of his friends, Red West and Joe Esposito, they on the weekend they had a day off when we were working on at the studio. It's a little park at Coldwater Canyon, and played touch football, and that was more fun. I played a couple of weekends there with them, and they really enjoyed. And they were tough. They were not
Yeah.
going to push over. They were athletes, and they played hard. And Elvis the same way. And there wasn't any, the be careful and don't hit Elvis. They blocked. They did
Don't be
everything.
just go for it. Punch him.
Yeah.
Punch him.
Absolutely.
We see him, and yeah, that picture, I love that picture because he is clearly happy to be here with you
Yeah.
on set, and it's I don't know, something is very genuine about that picture. I love that. So that was Kid Galahad. There's another movie that's been important for you in your career, and that's Westbound, a
Yes.
Western movie. Do you, and that was filmed in Burbank, am I correct?
Yes.
What can you tell
Yeah.
us about Westbound and maybe about Randolph Scott?
Uh, it was a wonderful opportunity for me, thanks to Bud Bedecker, the director, wonderful director. Uh, gave me the job. It was my first starring role in a movie. And, I was under contract at the time. And Bud said, "This is the guy I want to play Rod." And it was a golden opportunity. And I did everything I could to give a great performance. And playing a one-armed character, no special effects in those days.
Yeah, just
I
hiding it.
I had to hide it, yeah, behind my back, and yeah, hit a mark, and at the same time, and the dialogue, and there's a lot of responsibility that went along with uh, playing a one-armed character. As a matter of fact, I got a call, maybe 10, 15 years after I made the film, the five greatest performances by an actor playing a one-armed character. They had
Sweet.
Spencer Tracy, Bad Day at Black Rock, Tom Tryon, Three Angry Men with
Yeah.
Charlton Heston, the Chill Wills, the movie called with oh gosh, well, I'll think of it in a second. But the other one was The Fugitive,
Yep.
and myself. I was by far the youngest, and it was the other one was with Glenn Ford. Chill Wills is a movie at the Alamo with Glenn Ford.
So
So
that
yeah,
was
I was thrilled to be in that company and be having been chosen five greatest performances by an actor playing a one-armed character.
so that was the first time you had your name on the poster of the movie, like we see right now.
Yes, yeah, that
How
was star billing, co-star billing. I mean, and
how
working
how
with
does it
Randolph
feel?
Scott was just a pleasure. He was a gentleman, a wonderful, wonderful actor, and just a joy to work with, along with Virginia Mayo and Karen Steele. We had an excellent cast, and
Yeah,
Bud was my favorite director. He was
really.
uh, just the best, absolute best. Yep.
How does it feel when you see the poster with your name on it? How do you personally feel? Are you
Yeah.
proud? Are you excited? Are you a little bit
Yeah, it's
afraid
all those
to
things. Yeah, yeah. You don't, uh, it. You can't dwell on it. Okay, here's a beginning. Now you have to hopefully get more parts as a result of the performances. That performance, I I got great reviews and for my performance in that, and I was under contract to Warner Brothers, and they would throw me into a television show, uh, and maybe a small part in Maverick or Cheyenne, and so they could care less.
yeah,
And here I was, I gave a great performance and co-starred, and so I had to worry about my own career
yeah.
because they couldn't care less about it.
So what happened after that? What was kind of the step after Westbound that kept you going
Oh,
in your career?
that was the break of my lifetime. I did a Desilu Playhouse called The Killer Instinct with Rory Calhoun and Janice Rule, and I played a Mexican fighter. I played did all the fighting sequences. I spoke Spanish in it, and with a Spanish accent as well. And then within less than 24 hours, that was on a Sunday night. On a Monday morning, I had two major contracts waiting for me uh, at One at to do The Untouchables with Quinn Martin, the exec producer of
Yeah.
The Untouchables, and not to play his flunky. I would do 13, and Stack would do 13. And then I had it. This was at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and at 12 o'clock I had a luncheon with producer Sidney Bohm, who wrote and produced Seven Thieves, with Eddie G. Robinson, Rod Steiger, Joan Collins, Eli Wallach, and Alex Gorby, Barry Kroger, and myself. But
Yeah.
I had a 5-picture deal. They offered me a 5-picture deal, and I wanted to do films. I didn't want to do television at the
Yeah.
time.
Your preference,
So
you really wanted to go into film.
I signed a deal with 20th Century Fox, and then we went on strike in 1960. All contracts were null and void.
Damn. So it's not that you said you learned to speak Spanish for that film, and it's not the only time you learned to speak another language, because came that masterpiece, which is Winterhawk, and you learned to speak Blackfoot, the Native American language, for that one. So you are someone who's committed to the role as an actor. You really want to give a part that, give a performance that's genuine and honest to the best of your abilities.
Oh, absolutely. And we had a woman, a technical advisor on the movie representing the Blackfoot Nation,
Mhm.
Mrs. Grant. The words, Matt, in Blackfoot ramble. They're tied together. Like, for example, uh, they would be this long.
Okay.
And so I would have to break it down with her phonetically, noted perfectly in English. And then, like, for example, it said, um, Mistakish. Well, Mistakish is one word in Blackfoot. So I
Okay.
had to break it down,
Sla
Mistakish.
Kish.
Right, and so forth. And I was very seldom an actor. I would say maybe 0.5% of all the actors that had ever lived that had the opportunity and good fortune to play a title role, and I had that good fortune to play the title role in Winterhawk,
Yeah,
which I've
because the on
become
the
a classic.
poster, the Native American guy that we see on the poster, that's you. And
You
I
know?
I think I understood, reading articles and doing some research, that a lot of people actually believed that you were of Native American origins after that film. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. Even the Blackfoot, uh, uh,
Really?
yeah, even the Blackfoot members that came to work with us uh, would come up to me, and they would look at the hair, the hairline. It was so perfect and and they would say, "You're Blackfoot."
Yeah,
I
it was.
said,
Let's take a look.
I'm an actor.
Let's take a look at the trailer of
Yeah,
the movie Winterhawk.
yeah.
The trailer they got
In
out at the time.
1836, he moved like a shadow through the mountains and forests of southern Canada and Montana. Only one white man had ever seen him. His own people, the Blackfoot, were in awe of him. They said he could see like an eagle, smell like a wolf, and run like an antelope. As a warrior, he was terrifying. When his people were dying of smallpox, he stepped out of the shadows and asked the white men for medicine. He got treachery and bullets instead. In revenge, he kidnapped a white girl and boy, and in an incredible journey, outmaneuvered a group of mountain men through the high country for almost a year. His name was Winter Hawk, and his story was only told around Blackfoot campfires until now, Charles B. Pierce brings it to the widescreen as one of the epic adventure films of all time. Winter Hawks, rated PG.
So that was inspired by a real Indian Native American story?
Yes, yes, it was uh, in a piece of invention by Charles B. Pierce, who wrote, directed, and produced the film. And as as much as the facts during that period of time that had occurred with the Blackfoot Nation, he built a hero around what took place about this boy
Yeah.
and his sister and my relationship and how it developed and how the Blackfoot were how I was and the Blackfoot people, Mike Winterhawk was far superior than given credit for.
Yeah.
And
When
yeah,
you see when you see these images today, how does it make you feel to see you riding a horse, to see yourself? Do you remember the movie? Do you remember the making of the movie? What comes to your mind when you see this trailer?
all the fond memories, man, of the people I worked with Charlie Pierce and Leif Erikson and Woody Strode and L.Q. Jones and Don Wells, all these wonderful actors that contributed to making it a classic Western. We had the finest array of character actors in the piece. It was just full of wonderful, talented people, and to see it on the screen and know that it's going to be there long after I'm gone, and I can't tell you how proud I am, and will be for the rest of my life.
And that movie, a sequel, almost happened. And it did not, but you ended up buying the rights of
Right?
that story to make a sequel happen. Can you run me through that story?
Yeah. Charlie Pierce didn't. He didn't believe in sequels. He didn't want to do a sequel, and so I said, "Okay, great. I want to buy the property." So I bought the property and wrote the screenplay. And then with the screenplay, I decided to write a book about Winterhawk's Land, which was a sequel to my relationship with the white girl that comes off with me in the end. I had the passion I wanted to, of the character not to, and the relationship not to die
Yeah.
off, and so that we could continue their life thereafter.
So you had the script, and at the time you find some financing for the movie.
I'm hoping to. At this point, I've been talking with someone and so forth, and it's just it's the hardest thing, Matt, is to is financing.
Yeah.
So I thought I had the financing a couple of times, and it fell through. But hopefully one day we can make it.
Maybe, who knows? You've been in so many movies, so many TV shows. You had an amazing career. Now we have that book that shows, that recalls us about everything that you achieved. Would you be interested to make new movies, to make new shows? And do you still receive offers, maybe?
Well, yeah, it all depends because I did during the pandemic, man. I wrote 3 screenplays. So I had 3 screenplays: the sequel to Winterhawk's Land, Six Road Home, which is another uh, dramatic piece about 6 horse soldiers that muster out and come back from the war. And I had the passion to write that because um, they returned, the men and women that returned from the war since the beginning of man and
Mhm.
so forth, and survived are have
It's a story. It's a
experienced
story
the
that
same
needs to be told
emotions.
also.
Yeah, experience the same emotions, their insecurities, their doubts about what to expect when they uh, go home. In these
Yep.
cases, these are 6 horse soldiers, and go home to what? So it's a very powerful piece, and nobody rides off in the sunset.
We have a question coming in for you, Michael, from Joe Jordan. Question for Michael: when will Volume 2 of Interviews with the Star be published? Do you have any idea when you're gonna make the second volume of the book?
Um, but it'll take a little while because this will be the prelude to the direction we want to go with the live radio shows, the 3 minute show and the 1 hour show on the internet, whether it be
Okay.
YouTube, yeah, podcasts, or StreamYard. So there are 3 ways to go, and I'm
So
working with someone now
you're
as
looking
to
for the
what
best
direction to go.
platform, the best way to kind of keep doing the shows, and the next book may be an echo of what you're gonna be doing next.
Yeah, it'll be, it has it'll be on, I'll be at the LA Convention Center December 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Nichelle Nichols Farewell Star Trek Convention. That's
Good.
coming up. Yeah, that's at the LA Convention Center December 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Matt. And it's a farewell to Star Trek star Nichelle Nichols. And she's a lovely lady. And I couldn't be more proud to be invited and be a part of it.
Yeah. If you want to know everything about Michael next appearances, going to Comic Cons, going to the Gunfighters for Hire, or everything, what you see right now on the screen is michaeldanteway.com. And the website is very complete. There's a lot of information. I am right now on the appearances page, and you can see everything Michael's been doing lately, where he's going. If you go home, for example, I've shown that page before. The book was just released. So if you want to know more about the book, you go on the radio tab, and basically everything you want to know, if you want to discover even more information, promotion, anything, and more than what we talk about today, the book is right here for that. And I really encourage you to go on the website also, because you're going to find a lot of information and a lot of things that you're going to be very happy to learn about. Michael and Mary Jane on the side, thank you so much for being with us today at the Yucca Valley Film Festival. It was my great honor to have you and to discuss a little bit more with you about everything you've done. We are very happy to bring the Yucca Valley Film Festival to the Morongo Basin, and to have people like you or like John Stanley we had in 2019, who are locals to the Mojave Desert, to share their experience. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you in person next year. Maybe you can attend the festival in 2022 when we're going to do it again in person.
Thank you, Matt. It would be a pleasure.
Thank you
Enjoyed
so
it very
much. Thank you so much. And guys, if you want to keep watching the films on the Yucca Valley Film Festival, since 10 a.m. this morning, because we are Saturday, since 10 a.m., you've seen the documentaries, you've seen the animation films. This evening, we have the short films. So the next moment you and I are going to be together here is going to be in a few hours, when we're going to have the filmmakers from the short films joining us just before the films get available on the Zerb platform. So thank you so much for following and keeping up with the Yucca Valley Film Festival. And once again, Michael, thank you so much for being with us. And I hope to meet you in person soon, and maybe next year at the Yucca Valley Film Festival. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mary Jane.
Thank you,
See you
Matt.
soon.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Matt. Bye.